Good evening, my name is Brenda Requena, and today I would like to record this short video to talk to you guys about my personal teaching philosophy and some of the ways that it has changed during these past 15 weeks. As many of you guys know, we're going through some unforeseen circumstances right now in our education system. I currently teach in California, and most of our Californian schools started doing virtual teaching back in August, or between August or September. I started August 8th, and since then my teaching philosophy has developed. It has grown significantly, but it has also changed, and that is due to the way we are now teaching. Before, I had based my philosophy on face-to-face interaction, and now those philosophies and those statements within my philosophy did change. One of the main reasons it changed was because I strongly believed, and I still do, but I had to change it in order to make it work during my student teaching, that physical interaction, such as positive encouragement as a high five or a good morning handshake, were extremely important in order for a teacher and a student to form this basic and solid foundation from day one at school. Now that's completely impossible due to the circumstances, and I have found new ways to implement that, which is through personalizing our good morning routine in the morning before starting. I personalize a good morning to most of our students within the Zoom meeting. Sometimes it's impossible due to connection or Wi-Fi issues, but that connection, it's not 100% there, but it is much better now than it was back in August when I had just started. So although it's slower, the connection's slower and the bonding slower, it is not impossible than what I thought before. Now, talking about how technology can be used to create a better learning environment for all students. Although this is my year when I'm doing my student teaching, I started teaching high school last year back in 1920, and although I had an amazing mentor last year and someone to look up to, this is the year where I truly feel that I've been able to implement technology the way it should. Last year, because we were at a face-to-face, there was no need, although I did use some of it, there was no need to implement any new technology. Now this year, it was a must. And because it was a must, there was no other way to teach than to introduce new technology to the class. I noticed that a lot of my students, for example, my special ed students, my students with other sort of disabilities or probably behavior problems, have benefited from this Zoom interaction in my Zoom presentations and games or activities such as Kahoot. In another level than comparing to last year. And I don't think it has anything to do with me having more experience. I just think it has to do with the strategies and the technology that I'm using right now, because it's a lot more engaging, it's a lot more interacting, and a lot of my students that are succeeding right now form part of those students who have an IEP or a 504 plan. And even those students who tend to be more shy, they are the ones literally flourishing right now because of the technology that I'm using right now. But not to keep my other students aside, my Gen Ed students are also doing really good. It's just those that don't come to engage in class, the ones that are not benefiting from the technology. But overall, I feel technology, and especially the apps that I'm using, such as Google Classrooms, Google Slides, and also our Zooms, Kahoot, and the Pear Deck. They're amazing apps to keep our students engaged and happy most of our time during the meeting. Lastly, to close on my personal teaching philosophy, I'd like to share with you guys some of the strategies I use, or one basic strategy and rule. It's not an expectation, but it's rather a rule in my classroom that I use to promote value, ethics, and also this sense of belonging and safety net in my classroom, and that is respect. In my classroom, the word respect, it's not an expectation but rather a rule. And why am I referring that to a rule? It's because a rule is a must. No matter what students are doing, no matter the activity I'm introducing to them, there must always be respect. And once we learn to respect one each other, and I respect my students and they respect me, I think everything just automatically flows in such a smooth way. That's one and the only strategy I use. And based off of respect, then I go to compassion, and then I move on to values, then I move on to morals, and so on and so forth. So to me, the word respect, it's an umbrella to many other things that need to be part of the classroom in order for students to feel safe and successful. So in order for my students to be able to pass my class, one of the main things that they have to demonstrate, aside from the content, which is Spanish, it's to know how to be respectful with one another and also to themselves. So that being said, that was a little bit about my personal teaching philosophy. Thank you so much, and have a great night, everyone.